Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one of mystery, power, greed, and divine justice. It is a story whispered across villages in Africa about a man who thought he could control the world, even the dreams of others. But in the end, he learned that the spirit world cannot be deceived, and every soul will answer for what it does in the dark. In the small town of Atina, there stood an old compound that everyone feared. It was owned by a wealthy man named Obadele. He was tall, with eyes that looked like the night sky, deep, dark, and full of secrets. He was known as the richest landlord in the region, but also the most feared. His tenants never stayed long. Some left suddenly in the middle of the night, some vanished, and others fell mysteriously ill. But no one dared question him, because Obadele was powerful. He was said to have connections with spirits from another world. Obadele's compound was always full. He rented out rooms to young traders, women who came from distant villages seeking work, and families who needed a place to rest their heads. Yet, strange things happened inside those mud walls. Tenants complained of strange dreams so real they woke up sweating, trembling, and afraid to sleep again. In these dreams, they said they saw the landlord always watching, always whispering words they couldn't understand. At first, people thought it was just exhaustion, but then, one by one, the women began to fall sick. They said they felt drained, as if their spirits were being taken each night. Their eyes turned dull, their laughter disappeared, and their energy faded. Still, no one had the courage to accuse Obadele directly. Rumors began to spread that Obadele had made a pact with ancient spirits. He had once gone to a sacred forest where no man was allowed to enter, and there he met something that promised him wealth beyond imagination if only he would feed it with the energy of others. And so he began to take what did not belong to him, not their bodies, but their spirits, through dreams. Every night he entered their dream world and drained their life force to grow his own power. He grew richer, younger, stronger, but the village grew weaker. Animals refused to pass by his compound, birds avoided his roof, and even the wind seemed to whisper warnings. Yet Obadele ignored them. He believed he had outsmarted both men and gods. One day, a new tenant arrived. Her name was Amara. She was a quiet woman, gentle, with a calmness that felt ancient. No one knew where she came from, but she carried with her a small carved calabash and a necklace made of cowrie shells. Obadele welcomed her, thinking she was just another tenant. But from the moment she entered the compound, things began to change. That night, Obadele tried to enter her dream, as he did with all his tenants. He closed his eyes, whispered the incantations he had learned from the forest, and waited for his spirit to cross into her world. But something was different. Instead of entering her dream, he found himself in a place he did not recognize, a vast plain of mist and echoing drums. He heard voices chanting his name, calling him to come forward. And when he looked up, he saw Amara standing before him, holding the same calabash, glowing with blue light. "Obadele," she said softly, her voice echoing across the dream world, "you have taken what was not yours for too long." He laughed, thinking it was just a trick of the mind. "You cannot stop me," he said. "I have fed the spirits for years. They obey me." But Amara shook her head. "The spirits do not obey you," she said. "They only used you, and tonight your debt is due." Before he could move, the ground beneath him split open, and thousands of hands reached out, pulling him downward. He screamed, calling the names of the spirits he had served, but none came to his aid. Amara closed the calabash, and the mist swallowed him whole. When Obadele awoke, he was sweating and trembling. He ran to the mirror, but what he saw made him gasp. His once youthful face had aged overnight. His hair was gray, his skin pale. It was as if every ounce of stolen energy had left his body. He tried to stand, but his legs were weak. He knew something terrible had happened. The next morning, the tenants noticed something strange. The air around the compound felt lighter. The eerie silence that always lingered was gone, and for the first time in years, birds sang near Obadele's house, but Obadele himself was nowhere to be found. Days passed, then weeks. The tenants thought he had fled. But one evening, when Amara returned from the market, she heard a faint cry from behind the compound. She followed the sound and found an old beggar sitting in the dust. He was thin, with eyes full of sorrow. When she looked closer, she realized it was Obadele. He reached out to her, whispering, "Please, release me." But Amara only looked at him with calm pity. "You must carry the weight of the lives you drained," she said, "until you understand the pain you caused." Then she turned and walked away. From that day, Obadele wandered the streets of Atina as a beggar. No one recognized him as the once powerful landlord. He would mutter to himself, warning people never to take from others what the Creator did not give them. Years passed. Children grew up hearing the story of Obadele, the man who tried to rule dreams and lost everything. Some said he was still alive, wandering from village to village, seeking forgiveness. Others said his spirit now guards the line between the waking world and the dream world, ensuring no man ever tries to cross it again. But the old ones know the truth. They say Amara was not an ordinary woman. She was a messenger from the ancestors sent to restore balance. And when her task was done, she vanished, leaving only the echo of her chant in the wind. The spirit world sees all. Power without compassion brings only ruin. Generations later, the compound still stands, though no one dares live there. Grass has covered its walls, and vines twist through the windows. Sometimes travelers who pass by at night say they hear soft whispers, the voice of a man begging for mercy, and another voice, calm and steady, answering, "You took from many, now give back to all." The story of Obadele became a lesson told in every family. Parents warned their children not to be greedy, not to use the gifts of the spirit world for selfish gain, because the ancestors watch and they balance every action, whether seen or unseen. And so, the people of Atina lived differently after that. They began to share more, help one another, and treat each soul as sacred. They rebuilt the small shrines that had been abandoned, lit fires for the ancestors, and prayed for protection against those who walk in darkness. The women who once suffered in silence found strength in each other. They formed a group called the Daughters of Light, to protect others from hidden harm and to teach the younger ones the power of prayer, unity, and courage. Sometimes, when the moon was full, they would gather near the old compound, singing songs of deliverance. Their voices carried through the night, reminding everyone that no secret evil can hide forever, and that even in dreams, justice walks silently. Obadele's story spread far beyond Atina. Travelers told it across rivers and deserts, from village to city. It became a proverb: "He who steals from the spirit of others shall be eaten by his own shadow." The tale inspired many kings, chiefs, and ordinary people to look into their own hearts and question what kind of power they sought. Power, they learned, is not in wealth or fear or control. True power is in humility, in mercy, in understanding that all souls are connected. When one suffers, all suffer. When one heals, all heal. Even now, elders say that if you sleep near the old compound, you will dream of Obadele not as a monster, but as a man with tears in his eyes, begging for forgiveness. And if you forgive him in your dream, you will wake up with peace in your heart. For forgiveness, they say, releases both the punished and the punisher, and so the story ends not in darkness, but in light. Because every shadow, no matter how deep, is chased away by the rising sun. Obadele's curse became his redemption, his pain became his teacher, and his downfall became the wisdom that saved generations after him. In the heart of Africa, where stories carry the breath of ancestors, this tale lives on as a reminder that no man can escape the justice of the unseen world. The dreams we walk in are sacred, and those who violate them awaken the wrath of the spirits. But those who walk with truth, kindness, and humility, even in dreams, will always be protected. So when you close your eyes tonight, remember this: the world of dreams is not just a place of rest. It is where the spirit listens, learns, and heals. Guard it with light, walk it with peace, and let no darkness in. Because as the old saying goes, when man sleeps, the gods are still awake. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who believes in the power of karma, in justice, and in the wisdom of our ancestors. Until next time, stay kind, stay awake in spirit, and remember every action, even in dreams, echoes in eternity.